Facebook page aside from this Zoom. So we are, we're having a lot of viewers right now, and
I'll behave myself in that case.
No, of course. Yeah, but they have a lot of questions actually. But yeah, I'll make sure to deliver this question before you leave around 3:30 today. Yeah.
If I can answer them, I of course will. So.
Yeah, and if in case that they have still any question that we did not discuss or tackle today, then they can still send through us, and we will communicate it to your office.
Yeah, no worries at all. And if I can't answer them, I'll find somebody that can.
Okay, yeah. Oh, by the way, we are also celebrating our Independence Day today. So
is that today?
Yeah. So happy Independence Day.
So what is it, a national holiday in the Philippines then? Yeah,
actually. This is why I decided to take this day and time for this webinar, because I think most of the people, they have time to for this discussion, even in Saudi, because most of our clients and students.
Friday, of course.
Yeah. Fridays they're off. So.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we can we can start now. Yeah. So okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Again, as I have said, today is our Independence Day. I would like to greet my fellow Filipinos. Happy Independence Day. My name is Margie from Trainovate. The General Manager, and on behalf of my Trainovate family, we would like to welcome everyone in this very important, interesting, and exciting NEBOSH question and answer for today's webinar. So before I will introduce the rest of the invited speaker for this event, please allow me to greet and acknowledge first our audience who are currently watching us. So sa mga safety officers, safety professionals, practitioners, frontliners, yes, you are frontliners in the work field now. So, and also to our loyal Trainovate proud students, who are now working abroad and here in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po. Also to our friends, clients, thank you very much today, and we hope and pray that you are all safe together with your families and loved ones during this time of pandemic. Okay, we all know that more Filipinos are losing their jobs because of our situation, and we hope that you will still remain positive, focus, and take this opportunity to plan on how you're going to get back with a better version of yourselves and invest in your career. So, your future employer will have no reason why they will not hire you back. And, by staying with us today, I mean, hopefully this might help you, and hoping that opportunities will widely open, for you soon again. So guys, before I proceed with our, guest, may I please remind you again to share this live event in your Facebook timeline in order for you to get a discount in Trainovate. So take this opportunity. Okay, so now I prepared some of questions, and of course, very hot topic for this discussion today. A lot of people, they got surprised about the NEBOSH open book examination and so on. But before we proceed at that, of course, I would like to to ask a quick introduction and short welcome message to our speakers for today. So I'll start first with Alice. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Ma'am Margie. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Any message?
Well, it's great. It's great to be here. It's great to see everyone again. So thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me, and welcome everyone.
Yeah, I think your students are missing you.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yes.
Yeah, you're teaching from which batch to up to what batch?
Batch 27 actually.
Yeah, because you know what, Stuart, we are now on the 105 batch for NEBOSH.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
and
impressive.
yes. So we're teaching NEBOSH for like almost 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know you've been a partner for a long while, so.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Alice. And I will proceed to Doc Sam. Doc Sam, just hi and hello. Please do not finish the whole discussion yet. I know you. You will end this in 5 minutes, okay? Just hey, hi, and hello.
Hi, good
Okay.
morning, or good afternoon in this case, and good morning in the UK.
Okay, thank you, Doc. And of course, we're very honored and happy to have you, Stuart, in this webinar. And good morning to you. So, any quick message from UK, sir?
No, I hope everybody's safe and sound. We're 13 weeks into lockdown and things are starting to ease off a little bit. But thanks for the opportunity this morning. So nice to see everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, and again, thank you for being with us today. So, again, majority of actually all of our viewers and guests today are safety officers, and some of them, yes, they are aspiring safety officers. And I would just like to add, to ask our speakers today, if like, why, why health and safety is a great career path, and what is the market for health and safety roles like at this moment, especially during this time of pandemic. So I'll start with you, Alice. So what do you think? I mean, yeah, what is your opinion about it?
Well, working in the health and safety field, I mean, it's such a unique opportunity. You've got the chance to connect with different people and also to help other people. And I think right now it's more unique in a sense that because of the COVID pandemic, companies right now are more open. They now understand how important health and safety is, and this provides more opportunities for those people who'd like to switch to health and safety career. And of course, it's not an easy job. You'll have to like it. You have to be passionate about it. But it's great. It's great to be able to contribute to make sure that people can go home safely. So I think now that you have this pandemic, opportunities are more open to everybody. So
Okay. Yeah, that's really true. How about you, Doc Sam?
Yeah, well, I think no one loves that field more than I do. As I started that long time ago, especially because of my health background. So originally I'm a doctor. I'm trained to make sure that people are okay and that people come first and their health come first. Of course, growing up, you get a little bit mature and understand as well the importance of business and understand about balancing things up between the mental well-being, social well-being, health, safety, and business as well. So yeah, I think it's a like Alice said, it's a very unique career, and I started it early on, and I'm still passionate about it. Haven't lost my passion there. And nowadays, a lot of people are joining the field, and I agree that with this COVID-19 pandemic, that companies will more recognize and be in need for people who understand more about the health and safety, especially in the workplace, because everyone now is trying to recover and get back to business.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. How about Stuart?
I think, I echo what everybody else has said. I think that it's a unique situation at the moment in the world. I think a lot of organizations are looking at the way they do things, the way they manage risk. I've had, during my 13, 14 years at NEBOSH, I've had a lot of engagement with students and safety professionals over my time. And they're exceedingly passionate about finding new ways of doing things, being more efficient, looking at, making the business more efficient. So I think there's a bit of an opportunity for a safety professional to add real value to an organization. But it's challenging times.
Yeah.
It's really challenging times for everybody, and every walk of life, every country, and I think there's a different world, but for those safety professionals that are focused and can innovate and give new ideas and manage risk for organizations, I think there's a massive opportunity.
Okay, okay, yeah. Thank you, Stuart. And I will also take this opportunity to ask you another question about what is the current effort that NEBOSH is doing in terms of helping their NEBOSH graduates in terms of recognition of NEBOSH certificates from different countries and employers. Because a lot of inquiries, let's say for example, before they will attend the training with us, they will ask us, is this recognized in Canada? Is this recognized in Australia? How about in this country? So, but I've seen a lot of effort already in terms of partnership with different countries. But yeah, so I would just like to ask about the current efforts from your office.
Yeah, so I was originally brought in to NEBOSH as the international manager, so to have a look at the opportunities for NEBOSH outside of the UK. And part of the last decade, I've been engaging with international governments, so they're safety regulators, education regulators, large employers, a lot in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, so they understand what NEBOSH does and where we add value, and what the people that hold our qualifications, you know, ultimately can do. So I think during that decade, we've received a lot of positive feedback. We've done a lot of work with various governments, particularly in the Middle East, on helping them with their regulatory frameworks. And that's obviously led to recognition of our qualifications in a number of countries. You know, so employers in Saudi, the UAE, Qatar, organizations like Petronas, they recognize us, you know, so Southeast Asia, Sinop as well in China. So I think a lot of companies, what they do is, particularly multinational companies, they'll use NEBOSH as a benchmark for their operations around the world. So at least they can mobilize staff from one location to another, because they know the broad competence of that person that holds NEBOSH qualification. So it's used in many ways like that. So we continue to do that work with government. Basically, we'll try and speak to anybody that will speak to us. To try and support our network of students, because we've got a duty of care to them as well, to not only to maintain the robustness of the assessment for NEBOSH and the value that it adds to them, but also to the value that it adds to an employer, you know, so it creates those employment opportunities. So we go through a cycle every year on looking outside of the UK on the countries where we operate, to try and keep abreast of developments in regulatory frameworks as they evolve. Some are prescriptive, some aren't, to try and, you know, seek broader recognition for our qualifications where we can. So it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
We've had a little interaction with Dole, is it, in Dole in the Philippines, the Ministry of Labour in the Philippines. They knew who we were, which was very, very nice to see. We get a few corporate supporters in the Philippines, but the majority of our activity for your target audience is probably the Middle East and Southeast Asia. So where we get a lot of recognition is in either the construction sector or the energy sector.
Okay. So. Yeah. I've seen you, you know, going a lot of places. And sir, I would just like to take this opportunity, because I know you have very limited time to join with us today. So I might jump now.
Margie, I'll devote as much as I can to you.
Yeah, I know. Because I just requested
the audience that you've collated. So.
I know. I just requested your presence like 2 days ago.
No
That's
problem.
why. But I appreciate. But I would just like to ask a direct question about the NEBOSH Open Book Examination. So what is NEBOSH's message to everyone about? Of course, Doc Sam and Alice can explain this more, but I would just like to know the NEBOSH side about this decision for you to have this kind of examination or assessment to our students.
Well, I think over the last 12 weeks, we've faced a challenging environment, and that's around the world. So what we wanted to do, and what we've been working with our regulator, the Scottish Qualifications Authority, SQA, they're a government regulator here for the education side of things. We've been working with them to try and work out a methodology so that with classrooms and venues being shut, how could we assess at a very similar level or the same level than a traditional exam. So we've been working on a methodology, looking at how other organisations like Oxford University, they do open book, and various other bodies. And it's a project that we had got on in flow, but it was accelerated because of the situation that we face. So it was just basically, how can we achieve the same, but by different means? So we're just currently working on some of the systems at the moment. We've got some guidance that's available in the public domain on the thought process behind that. And, it's exciting times for us at NEBOSH. So I think it's the way forward, to be honest with you. So we'll have to see what happens. I think it's a very positive step, and it gives the students and the learners accessibility to the exams and the examination process in this unique environment. And I think the pandemic and the results of the pandemic are going to be with us for quite some time. So at least it enables people to keep learning and to keep assessing their learnings. So I don't know if you've got any other specifics, but the amount of information I've got to hand is quite limited because it's such a new development, and we're in the process of honing the development. So.
Okay, but you mentioned in the email that it's interim. So what does it mean? It's like, is this forever? I mean, is this just...
This is the way forward for us. Yeah, I think this sets a very clear direction for NEBOSH on how we become accessible, going forward.
Okay.
I think that the meeting today is a classic example of the new way of working. I think the webinar and Zoom, Citrix, all the different platforms, people have got an insight on how these work and how well these work. You're in the Philippines, I'm in the UK, it's people across the globe, and they can just log in. So it's the way of working now. So we have to move with that time. So.
Okay. So are you saying that let's say in the international diploma, is it possible for the examination to be on the same open book examination?
No, we've not considered that yet.
Okay.
So, it's just the National General Certificate, which is the UK-based General Certificate with UK law in it, and the International General Certificate. So we're just doing it with those two qualifications initially. But the view is to look at other technologies and other ways of assessing for the whole range of qualifications ultimately.
And Stuart, just a quick one. So this change for the National General Certificate is permanent, and yes, you can confirm that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have some regulatory constraints issued by SQA. So they won't allow a hybrid system. So some people can't be assessed in one way, some people can't be assessed in a different way. This is the mode of assessment now for that qualification. And you can understand the thoughts behind that.
Yes, if I may ask, I've read that you are also looking for an alternative for the Unit 2 or GC2 as well. Is that going to change also?
No, that's not changing. That's because that can be done remotely by its very nature.
All right.
So it's just the first paper in essence where a student would have to come into a venue. So it negates that element of it. So hopefully students will be able to still do a risk assessment in their workplace, but difficult one.
Okay, Doc, do you have still any question to Stuart? Alice?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Did
To
I
those,
pass?
yeah. By the way, to those who are watching us, don't worry. We will explain again from A to Z. I mean, what is this kind of NEBOSH open book examination? We will go back on that topic. We just want to hear, the NEBOSH side about this issue. So before you
I've got
leave,
time.
Stuart, do you have
I'll
any
let you know when I
message?
have
Yeah.
to leave. So
Okay.
I'm with you as long as I
Yeah.
can be.
Okay. So yeah, just stay with us until you can. Okay.
I think
So
we can try. Do you have any questions from the audience, or are we going to explain the process first?
They're all hidden.
yeah, I think, Doc, the audience are more confused because they don't know exactly what is that NEBOSH open book examination, because at with their first impression they thought that it's easy. Why NEBOSH allow that? Because I think they haven't read the whole guidelines yet. So this is what we are going to discuss later. They don't know that there is an exit interview after the submission, and the interviewer can report it to NEBOSH, something like that. So this is what we are going to explain one by one later, together with Alice and of course.
I think the concerns that have been raised by the people who have logged into this, and probably some of the queries that you had have been echoed around the world. Because I think there is the perception that open book is easier, but that's far from the case. It's how you apply your knowledge to the assessment. And as you rightly point out, there is a post exam interview on that. There's a quality assurance gap to make sure that it is the candidate's own work. So that was something that we were encouraged to do by our regulator to give reassurance. And what we've done historically, when we have changed the assessment or the syllabus, we benchmark that, and we've done this exercise a number of times. We'll benchmark our general certificate from 5 years ago or 10 years ago to make sure it is broadly the same academic level and difficulty as it was before. And we do that for a number of reasons. A, to satisfy the government regulator here, but we also do that so that to support the students who gained our qualifications 5 and 10 years ago. So an employer knows that somebody has, if they have a NEBOSH certificate, they know broadly where their academic level sits. So there is no suggestion at all that the open book is any easier or harder than the traditional exams.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Doc Sam, do you have any question or additional message on that for now?
No,
Alice?
I'm not sure if it's my time to talk yet.
No, not yet. Otherwise, we're finished. Okay, so thank you so much, Stuart. So just stay there. Yeah, sure. I'm just checking if there are questions that I'm reading some of the questions, and these questions are, we can actually answer it as a learning provider, okay, not necessarily from Stuart right now. So I'm just checking very, okay, interesting.
They're coming thick and fast.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Stuart is very nice and accommodating person. I already met personally in KSA in Bahrain. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm infamous.
Yeah, you're famous. Okay, so they're asking about the retakes and everything. So we will answer all of that later on after the whole discussion. So I'll just proceed
Marty,
with...
if there are any gaps on any questions that you can't answer, more than welcome to ping them to me on behalf of the people that are being asked, and we'll get answers for you. So that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because even, let's say, for example, in this guidelines that we received, we also don't know how, like, for example, once you register with the open book examination, how you will receive, we are still waiting for further instructions.
So what's happening at the moment, I'll give you a bit of an insight onto that and the constraints that you as the learning partner are under at the moment. You have limited information.
Okay, yeah.
So what we wanted to do is at least tell the world on our sort of direction that we were taking and our thought process and the developments that we were making.
Okay.
We're in the process of building some of the systems at the moment. So as soon as they're built and we've got all those processes in place, we'll issue guidance to you as a learning partner that'll in turn help the students understand what do I need to do and when. So the reason I'm saying that, Margie, is that you've not got all the answers because we've not given them to you at the moment. So I think if we can ask for some patience from the network of students to wait until we've given the learning partners the information, you know, so as soon as we have it, we'll give it to the learning partners such as Trainovate, and they'll be able to support everybody accordingly. So.
Okay, thank you for that.
No
So
worries.
yeah, I'll just go to another, you know, a side of the question, because most of course, the learning partners or training company or safety training organizations like us, we're offering like distance learning online. You know, Alice and Doxam, what is your opinion about this? Like, what can you advise if what style of learning will suit to every attendees? Because you know, sometimes it's very attractive, but is this suit for my, you know, for what is my need, or you know, is this style is suit for me? Something, you know, that
Well,
kind
at
of
the end of the
questioning.
day, it depends on the student. Well, you have different options now. You can attend classroom, you can do long distance e-learning. As instructor, we do not usually recommend one specific type of training because, of course, it depends on you, your availability, how well do you study, do you need group to discuss with, or can you study on your own by just reading the book and doing some research? It depends on the student actually, but it's a good news that nowadays you have so many options, and because many people right now are stuck in their home because of the COVID pandemic, now you have the option also to study from the comfort of your home through e-learning, for example. So I would say it depends on the student, which method would be more suitable to you.
Okay, thank you. Of course, Doc Sam, your any opinion about that?
No, I agree with Alice. I think it depends on the type of student. I mean, keep me for the part of the open book exam. I think I have more to say about that when the
Okay.
time comes.
Yeah. Doc, before we proceed again with the open book examination, can you brief again the viewers about NEBOSH courses? Because not all of them attended
Me?
NEBOSH. Yeah.
Or Stuart?
Yeah.
I'll say what I know, and then I let Stuart continue.
Well,
yeah,
I might be biased, of course. So.
Yeah, well, much better. That's why you're here. We're here because of NEBOSH. So, what I know, of course, Stuart is here. I'm not supposed to be the one presenting this, but different levels are there, from the award levels to the certificate levels in different fields, let it be general or construction or even wellness and well-being. And then they have the diploma level. Then now they even have, with some universities in the UK, a master's degree level where you can compensate for some of the units that you need to study and then get your master's degree from the UK, which I think is also done by distance learning as a possibility, right?
Yeah, there are a few universities such as Portsmouth and Hull that offer purely distance programs. Other ones like Loughborough, they insist that you come to the UK for some reason for an induction, but some allow 100% remote learning. So.
Yeah, so did I miss anything? I mean, you can also tell us if there are other products.
We've got 18 qualifications, I think they are. So as you say, they're at 3 different levels. So like a basic awareness, safety manager level, and then professional level, I suppose, is probably the 3 levels. And then we offer general qualifications, which suit all workplaces. And then we offer industry-specific ones, so for process industries or certain incident investigation, leadership, that sort of thing. Environmental, of course, we do an environmental qualification at each level, which is increasingly more popular, particularly in the Middle East at the moment, because their environmental laws are quite new, and environment's quite important to many countries. But I think it's the recognition and portability that I think is the most pertinent thing with our qualifications, on how well recognised they are around the world. So we had exams last year, I think it's 132 countries. So it's quite a lot. So
Yeah, but most of our viewers now, they are into NEBOSH International General Certificate. Some of them actually are looking for the environmental certificate right now. So
that's very often a progression for a lot of people, because the in HSE is obviously a small one, and I think depending on where you're working as well. So some people get involved in security. Some people also get involved in quality as a safety professional. So it depends on the organisation. But I think the environmental one's quite a popular one for a lot of our certificate holders. As is the construction certificate, if they've got construction operations or facilities management as part of their remit. So.
Okay, so I will just add with a Docsum statement about the NEBOSH courses. Like the NEBOSH IGC has 2 units. Okay, before the IG1, they're going to assess you in a closed book examination, but we just received, as what we are discussing today, that it is now an open book examination. So this is now the main event. Alice, can you please guide us exactly what is this? How they are going to assess you? And they ask questions to someone else? Are they going to take it home? Yeah, so those are questions that are playing in different minds of our viewers.
Okay,
now.
So NEBOSH has been, of course, NEBOSH has been always about assessing how students understand or demonstrate understanding from what they've learned through exams. So now the big news is we are now going to do an open book exam instead of the usual closed book exam. So how does it work? It's an exam that students can take from the comfort of their home. So they can take it at home. They do not have to go to a training center or exam center to take the exam. They can take it at home. They will be given a scenario and then some information about the company or the organization. And they may be asked to take a specific role as a safety manager, for example, and then they will be given a series of questions. Question could be something like, how do you assess the consultation in the company, or something related to incident investigation, different questions. And of course, this will be divided into sub-questions. How do they complete it? They have 24 hours to complete and submit the exam. Of course, they do not have to spend that 24 hours. Actually, according to the guide, you can complete the question in 4 to 5 hours. But of course, NEBOSH gives us some time in order for us to review, do some research, and then submit the exam. So you have 24 hours to start and then to submit your exam. Since it is an exam, there are rules. Of course, it's an open book exam. You can access your book, you can do some research online, but the rules will be, of course, you cannot just copy paste from your workbook. You cannot just copy paste from anything you find online. You have to put your references. You cannot contact your instructor during your exam. You cannot talk to someone else. You cannot get help from other people. There are the rules, just like a real exam. And of course, like Stuart said, it's not because it's an open book that it's going to be easy. Of course, the level of answers required from students will be different since it's an open book now. Other information, well, of course, that's it. So 24 hours to submit. If you do not submit within the 24 hours, then you'll have to retake the exam again. And
okay, Alice, because I've seen these questions, people are asking about the other. I know, of course, you have the answer to that, but people who are having the older version, can they still retake under the older system or not?
No, they have to go through the new assessment methodology. No, so.
No, I mean, if someone is retaking, because what we read in the guidance that they can still resit if they're resitting their IGC1, for example, the old.
Yeah, if they're partway through, that's correct.
Yeah. So because they are halfway, they're not on the new system yet.
But the other thing to back Alice up on that, on the methodology, it's amazing what we can identify as far as malpractice and plagiarism is concerned, from how language changes through a student's answer, on whether it's been cut and paste or whether somebody's had input. So I think the perception is that, you know, that there is the ability to be able to work around the system, but in reality, it's very evident to us and our examiners on anybody that's done that, and the penalties for doing that are potentially severe. So, you know, they can go all the way up to a lifetime ban from NEBOSH for a student. So I'd give warning to anybody that was thinking that was potentially taking that option. So
Yes.
Listen, guys, I've got to make my excuses now, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity to see everybody this morning, and to share a little bit of what we're doing at NEBOSH. I'd like to wish everybody a very good Friday, happy Independence Day in the Philippines there, and I hope everybody is safe and well, and continues to be safe and well during this challenging time. So unfortunately, I've got to go. I'd like to do this again perhaps another time. I'm more than happy to do that. And Mark, if anybody wants my contact details, you're more than happy to give them my email address. It's not a problem. So
Yeah, okay. Noted on that.
Right,
Thank
well,
you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
you're more than
Thank you,
welcome.
Stuart.
Lovely to see everybody.
Have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
So
And
yes.
yes, Mama G, in addition
Yes,
to that, one of the quality check is to have a closing interview. So after the exam, each student will have to go through a closing interview. That will be conducted by someone assigned by the learning provider. The purpose of the interview is to make sure that the work submitted was the student's own work and it was not just a copy paste. So it's part of the process. Of course, during the interview, the instructor, the learning provider cannot tell you if you pass or fail the exam. It's just an interview to make sure that you submitted your own work. That's it.
Okay, and then that interview is going to be submitted to NEBOSH as well, correct?
Yes. Learning provider will submit a report to NEBOSH based on what they've seen in the interview.
Okay, and I read something like referencing. I think this is, yes.
You have to make sure that you put a reference or a list. This is, of course, to make sure that you just didn't copy paste from somewhere else. If you did, you'll have to put some reference.
Okay. Now, Doc Sam, this is your turn. As far as I remember, even early last year, when NEBOSH asked you about your suggestion on how they are going to improve their qualification, this is actually what you suggested ever since. So please, we're here to listen your point of view about this.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Margie. I will not. As much as possible, I'll try not to say my real feelings about closed book exams, because NEBOSH still have some other qualifications that are assessed by closed book exams. But the least that I say that I'm not supporting closed book exams ever since. And I'm UK educated, and I've rarely been through a closed book exam. The way that I see now NEBOSH is doing is catching up, but it's the only thing that I think is that they're doing it a little bit late. This should have been long time ago. I've said before that the previous now that I have the confirmation from Stuart that this is permanent change, I have to admit that the closed book exams were not the best. I'd be very careful choosing my words here. Closed book exam was not the best way to prepare a real life safety officer or safety professional in the workplace. And I've said that in my survey, in writing, several times. I've said it to my students, and those who attended with us would remember that we started long time ago in Trainovate, the scenario-based activities, the team-based learning, and questions based on a scenario to tell us what would you do in real life, because no one in real life, no manager, will go inside your office, and I've written this to NEBOSH clearly in my survey, that they will open the door and say, okay, Sam, stand up and please tell me what are the elements of the management system. No one does that, right? Maybe before, in the old times where the information was scarce or rare to find, then we needed people to be sources of information. Like I should have been a moving encyclopedia of safety because I'm the source of information. There were very rare textbooks, and we're talking about the 80s or before that. But now there is a problem with too much information at some point. There is an overflow of information. At the click of your device, you can just get all the information you need. The problem now is not how much do I remember the information because it's right there. The problem is I have all the information that I need, but I cannot solve my problems at work. I cannot help my employer, and I cannot keep people safe. So now the switch is wonderful. Long term, this is the best thing that could have ever happened. This is from my educational point of view. I'm not defending anything because this is my view of ever since. I've never changed it. Anyone who attended my classroom knows that I've been saying that forever. NEBOSH exams to prepare people for real life situations should have been open book long time ago. The challenge shifts from the student now to the examiner in how do you assess my level and my skills without compromising the educational process. So now you're not just challenging me with a difficult exam, you're challenging the examiner on how to test. And this should be the case, right? And then people keep on saying, and I'm very surprised about that, that they keep on saying the exam is not going to be difficult anymore. And whoever said that examinations should be about the level of difficulty? Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Educationally, exams are not supposed to be difficult in any way. Exams should just check if you've understood, if you can apply this knowledge in your real life so that you can do a better job and progress forward, not how difficult it is. I understand, of course, the feeling of people like myself. This is how I took my exam 2005, 15 years ago, and it was like that, and I took it and I had no problem. But it was quite stressful, so we are removing now the levels of stress. We are moving forward into a more mature level of assessment on how do you assess the people's understanding and their level of the ability to apply knowledge into real life. And then it will not stop there. I mean, Stuart said that we will try to check for, people who are cheating or whatever. Yeah, you have to understand also that after you graduate and you go to work, you will be examined every day. And I believe that many of you and many of my students have seen my post that before, in the old days, I said, life is an open book exam, but NEBOSH is not, right? So now NEBOSH is also an open book exam, like your real life. Okay? So just to sum this up and not to talk too much, educationally, this is the best move ever that NEBOSH could have done. And the only downside is that it's a little bit late. It took a pandemic for them to, to try and change and bring this change along, and hopefully things will follow and they will have that with their other qualifications soon. So for me, it is challenging for us as a provider. This is not the time to say that. This is not the place to say that. We're not talking about ourselves. For my students, I'm very happy for them. And that's the way to go. And hopefully with time, things will be more polished and more clear. All the questions at the right time will be answered, and they will be less stressed and everything. And we do apologize for anyone who had a hard time in the old days, but we've all been through. And let's just be happy for those who are coming up, because I can say educationally, again, that 100% those who will go through the open book will be better prepared in the field than those who did just the closed book. Anyone who could just memorize something from the book for 24 hours and just throw it up back into the exam could have passed the exam. This is not the way to go. So that's all I have to say, and thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Alice, do you have any additional while I'm browsing some of the messages here?
Well, no, so just to summarize, this is good news for our student. And I agree with Doc Sam. It took we had to have a pandemic to have this open book exam, but to summarize, this is good news.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, I'm checking some questions here, like...
Yeah, there is also a question. I think all the
Uh,
questions will be answered at some point. Like
yeah.
as our course program, whether there would be a mock exam. So a lot of people are asking about the mock exam. Yes, we can. Once things come up, we can
Yeah.
sure try to have some practice for you guys. And it's not going to be very different from before. It's just that it's going to be. I mean, the way that I think about it, the questions are going to be similar. It's only that they're going to be based on a scenario, on a real life scenario, rather than just a question and you're just saying what you're memorized. So it will be more interactive and more fun even while you're taking the exam. So yes, we can do a mock exam, but not yet, because as Stuart said a while ago, even us, we don't have all the answers yet because they are still working on it. Another question is
How many scenario? Yeah.
well, we don't know the specifics yet. No one knows the specifics yet, but once we know, we will announce it. Don't worry, relax, everything is fine. How about the interviewer? Is it from Trainovate? Yes, the interviewer will be assigned from, I mean, in agreement between NEBOSH and between the learning provider. Usually it's going to be a representative from the learning provider, just to take you through what you've written and make sure that it's your own work. Who is it going to be? Is the instructor allowed or not allowed? These are things that we still we are not sure about yet. But yes, there will be an interview as of now. Maybe they will change it later. And the interviewer should be a representative from the learning provider. Is that correct, Alice?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is one question here. I passed IGC1 on 2017. How many years it will be carried out until it expires and retake all the exams? So NEBOSH is giving you 5 years to finish.
So he
once you
hasn't
start.
finished. So he
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
finished yet. Okay.
Yes. He passed only IGC1. Sorry, this is old unit. I know he only have up to next year, September. This is IGC one. So
the very old, because
sorry,
now there are like 3 levels.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
3 generations.
yes, sir. So yeah, you only have up to next year, up to September to to pass this old unit IGC1. Okay, so I wonder how can one pass. Yeah, okay. Ma'am Ali, siya ang naging professor ko since 2018. Okay. I wish to ask why NEBOSH refused instructors not to direct students on IG to write up.
Yeah, I can answer that question.
Yes,
maybe they just missed. We are posting videos about how to do your GC2. NEBOSH never said that the instructor will not direct the instructor. You can ask the instructor. The only thing that you're not allowed to do, and let's be very clear about that, which is explained in our free videos. It's on our YouTube channel, how to do your new NEBOSH IG2. We've posted, there are 4 videos. We've posted 2 and we'll post the other 2 videos in the future. Is you are not allowed to show your work to the instructor in order for the instructor to like do a pre-marking or tell you if that's correct or not. But if you want to ask question about if you're in the right direction, have you chosen a suitable workplace, is that the way to go, you have the right to ask that. You only don't have the right to show your actual work and ask for feedback. That's malpractice. Okay, so we never said that you are not allowed to get directions from the instructor. Thank you.
Okay, one of the suggestion or comment here is, he said that I guess they need to integrate a curriculum that will help the safety professional to develop plans, OHSMS, and the like.
Alice, you want to take over
the syllabus?
for that one?
Yeah.
It's part of the IGC1, I think, when you talk about the health and safety management system elements. But I'm not sure about the question, if it's talking about how to develop, how to write a self-safety program also. But
Okay.
again, the syllabus is from NEBOSH. It's not from us. We cannot change it. We just follow whatever NEBOSH provides. So So far, they updated the syllabus last year, and that would be covered more on Unit 1, IGC1, when we talk about the health and safety management system elements.
Yeah, that's so again, that's how it's not just about the syllabus, because you have to understand as a student that there are three things here when you're educationally developing a training program. You have the objectives, the learning outcomes, or the educational outcomes that you need to achieve. Then you have the content and the delivery method, and then you have the third thing is the assessment. And the delivery method should be aligned with the assessment in order to achieve the learning outcomes. And in this case, I think the syllabus is fine. And to answer the question, I think it will be about the mode of delivery, how we train you on that. And then finally, it will be the assessment, that the assessment will test if you can use this information to develop real life plans, or maybe if the exam is not really, because it's not a long kind of an assignment, short questions. So they will ask you about how to solve some problems related to the development of such plans and similar.
Okay, so what are the parameters for open book exam? Did we get all questionnaires one time? So
yes. I think yes. There's no information about that, but I think yes, you will get information in one time. You'll get all the questions in one time, and you have 24 hours to submit the answer. And on fin also, I forget, there is a word count limit. This is of course to make sure that you do not submit a book. There's a specific word count, and there's an allowance of 10%. More than 10% of the word count, the examiners will not read anymore. So they are very clear on that part.
okay. So do we still have any more question? So I would just like to add that if you're planning to take your NEBOSH IGC, of course, with us, is you have several options and flexible, arrangement that you can discuss with us. Let's say, for example, now we have yes, Doc? No, okay. Let's
Just finish your point, and then just before you close, just
sorry, Doc, I did not hear you.
He said you can just finish your point first, and then you will continue later.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
We're talking about the NEBOSH.
Okay, because I did not hear you. Okay, so upon checking with all the review comments here, so far we all I think we all answered.
There's one more question from the chat group.
Yes.
For the new NEBOSH IGC, how many certificates will be given to the student if he passed IG1 and IG2? So how many certificates if they pass in the new syllabus? That's
in the new syllabus still they will receive actually 3, but NEBOSH will issue just 1. The other 2 is upon request, and they need to add additional payment. Unlike before with the old syllabus, it's automatic that they will receive 3 small certificates, and the big one once you pass the whole 3 units. But now they are just sending 1 whole big certificate if you pass 2 units. But if you wish to request for another 2 certificates, you have to pay, separately. So yeah, the answer.
Okay, now the question that I was talking about in the comments, which is a very good question. Is this going to be an advantage for safety officers who have field experience? And the answer is yes, definitely. And this is how it should be, because again, this is certificate level. You shouldn't have like 0 experience and then pass your NEBOSH IGC like before. It's not realistic. So with some field experience, which will help you, of course, reflect on how you answer your real life scenarios in that open book exam, that will be a simulation of what happens in the field. And that's exactly what we want. I want to assess someone, if they got the benefit out of the certificate, I want to see how are they going to use that in the field, in their office, while they have the internet, they have the references, they have the books, and then they get a specific problem. How can they work to solve it? How can they, give suggestions to solve it? So of course, your real life experience will help you a lot. and that will encourage more people with experience to take NEBOSH general certificate level. If you have zero experience, then maybe you should go first with NEBOSH Health and Safety at Work, or HSW, or Irish Managing Safely. Then you start to get some field experience, and then you can get NEBOSH, which will actually increase the likelihood of you passing the exam. That's my view. So yes, the answer is yes, experience will help.
And there's another question. NEBOSH still have IG1 and IG2, right? Yes, that's correct. What's the difference between the two? Well, IG1 is still the health and safety management system, and IG2 is the practical part, but the difference would be how they are going to be assessed. So in IG1, you'll have this open book. You'll be given a scenario and try to solve problem depending on the scenario given to you. IG2 is still risk assessment. So you'll have to choose a workplace and conduct a risk assessment using the form provided by NEBOSH. So that's the difference between the two. But both, of course, you can do your exam from home. You don't have to go to a test center or examination center anymore. You can do the exam from home. There's a question, Mama J, about environmental certificate.
Yeah. For the environmental certificate, as of the moment, we are not accredited to, to offer that qualification. But in the future, yes, we're planning to process also that qualification. Another question is, meron bang every Sunday? So he's referring to the schedule. So what I can only suggest now is for you to, attend the e-learning, wherein you can, enjoy the time whenever you are free or the day that you want to take your review. So take the e-learning for your NEBOSH IGC review. Okay. Okay, one message here from Michael Escalona. Hi, Mike. This is totally different situation now. Normally, you're the one greeting us, during your live session in your safety officer group. But this time, hello to you. So he said studying NEBOSH will be very beneficial, mostly to those who are planning to go abroad, such as Middle East, New Zealand, where he is actually in New Zealand now, in Philippines. There are private international company from Philippines are looking for the certificate aside from DOLE requirements for safety professionals. Okay, so yes, because well, there are informations from our previous students or passers that this certificate actually helped them to also to achieve or acquire their safety professional career here in the Philippines. Okay, do you have any questions? More questions? Doc, are you seeing any question here?
No, I'm trying to think. I think we've covered everything. That the other things could all be covered maybe through emails, or if they watch some of our videos. And they can go to trainovate-elearning.com. You can watch the free video there. It has a full introduction about everything, also the prices of the courses that we offer. You can communicate with us. Just send an email to info@trainovate.com.ph. Or send us a message on Facebook or chat on the website. For me, I think we've covered most of the things that need to be answered in this specific live session. Yeah, so for me, I think that's good. That's fair enough.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Ross is, maybe a question from the audience?
Alice, is there someone?
Yeah,
Okay, we cannot hear him at all, right?
yeah. If you can please
Yes.
just type your question in the chat box, maybe that would be better. Because since we
Mhm.
cannot hear.
Ross, we cannot hear you, man. We cannot hear you.
Okay, there's a question while waiting for that. Is there any way we will be given the guidelines for the open book exam? This guide is available in NEBOSH website, I think. Or
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Actually, it is available in the NEBOSH website, and they can send us email, set us PM in our Facebook page or personal message, so we can also send this copy to them.
Yes, that question was from Gligoric Samson. So yes, just send us an email and we will send you the guide. Another question is, will there be a change in the e-learning platform since IG1 is going to be situational?
No, the only thing that I believe will be changed is just the introductions, which will tell you how to do the exam. The content, though, stays the same. Maybe the way that you review will be different, which will change in the two videos that we have for the introduction, the first main video. But we'll not do that until we get the full details from NEBOSH. As of now, what you study is the same, and open book exam much more than it was to help you with the closed book exam, actually, because now you can use it in a better way. So there will be a change on the platform only for the introduction parts of the unit IGC1. GC2, there will be no changes at all because it's already wonderful. It's already an open book, and our lessons are very well developed with the view of the scenario and the real life situation.
Okay, I think that's it. No other question from the chat.
Yeah, just that Ross was trying to say something. I suggest he can just write it in the chat box, because we really cannot hear his.
Any other question, Mamaji, from the Facebook?
From the Facebook, I think we, no, we all discussed and answered.
Yeah, Marja, I think there's one question that you can answer. They're asking if NEBOSH IGCs now can count for the DOLE hours of advanced training. What's the situation on that?
Okay, yeah, based on the feedback from our graduates, is yes, they are, and since we are a safety training organization, or bottom line, we are accredited by DOLE, and based on the feedback of our student who process their safety practitioner, is DOLE accepted our certificates to be, part of the requirements, safety number of requirements in order for them to, to be accepted or qualified as a safety practitioner here in the Philippines. That's based on the feedback from our students, okay? Okay, so I think, yeah, you were interrupted earlier on what possible means to enroll NEBOSH or review with Trainovate. Can you give some information about this? Okay, so yeah, with the good news about your review now in Trainovate is you have the option to to do it in a classroom or in through e-learning. Okay, when we develop this e-learning platform is we did a lot of effort, good quality picture, high standard in terms of delivering the information. And the good thing about it is if you're lazy reading your books, and you just need to play it, and you will hear the voice of Doc Sam reading the lectures to you. So these are the two best options that you can do with your NEBOSH review with Trainovate. So in terms of payment, actually, the good news now is to those viewers na nanonood sa atin ngayon is they can get 20% off, okay, for your NEBOSH examination for this 2020. So, well, there are flexible arrangement that you can communicate with us. When I say flexible, meaning you can pay for the review first. Okay, that's one payment. Once you're ready for your IG1 examination, then contact us. Then that's the time you will settle another payment. That's the second payment. And once you're ready for your GC2, then that's another payment. So it's not such as you need to pay it in advance and you don't have money and you don't have time. No, there's no reason for you not to have this kind of certificate. Because again, if you have time issue with your time and your availability, you can take our e-learning, review in the evening, review every Friday. If you have limited budget, just pay for your, for your review muna. And then later on, once you feel ready, contact us to schedule you for IG1 examination. And again, if you're ready for another IG2, then that's the time you will always, you can contact us again for the scheduling or submission of your IG2. So, yes. Wala bang magtatanong if how much? Wala ako nakikita dito if how much. Okay, so the good news now to those who are watching online shopping, to those who are watching is you will like from the total of something like 40 plus 45 something is to those who are watching, you can only get this training review and examination for roughly 36,000 pesos, and just imagine you can divide it into 3. Okay, once you enrolled for our review, e-learning review, you will receive all the materials, all the templates, all the NEBOSH sample or model risk assessment, the guidelines, the word copy, wherein you just need to input your IG2 report. And to those still who wants to avail the workbook that we have, then you have still the option to get the workbook in our office. Okay, so may question pa po ba tayo?
Marcia, are you selling any bags or jackets?
Yeah,
or
later
anything?
on, yeah, I have a mug here for free. Yeah.
Okay, I think I got the question of Ross now. He said, I'm sorry, my session ended. My question is, as e-learner, as our course is having an expiration, whether our account and course shall remain permanently or no. No, the expiration stays the same. I mean, you have the expiration date there because the platform is just to prepare you when it comes to the content and things like that. But if you have 6 months till the expiration, we believe that this should be adequate and this should be more than enough. But if there is any like situation or a reasonable adjustment that you'd like to ask for based on your special condition, you can always contact us, and you can always contact the course tutor or Ma'am Margie or our, of course, marketing manager, Miss Ariane, about your situation. We can always be understanding of that. But as of now, everything stays the same because there's no major content. The idea is here, when it comes to the e-learning platform, for everyone's understanding, the idea is about delivering the content. Okay, so as far as delivering the content goes, the content stays the same. It did not change. No, the NEBOSH did not change the content. The syllabus is the same. They're only changing one unit, how the exam is delivered, which is easier on you. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Thank you.
Is the e-learning available only for the review or also during the examination of GC1 and GC2?
Well, you are not forbidden or banned from checking the e-learning if you still have access to it. This means that if you can take your exam before the expiry date of the e-learning, then you can still check the e-learning and you can still check the notes. This is what NEBOSH allows you to do, that you can check your notes, check your videos, whatever resources that you have. The only thing that you're not allowed to do is you cannot call me, or you cannot call Alice, or you cannot call anyone from the learning provider asking them, okay, I'm taking my exam now, what should I write down? Also, you're not allowed to ask anyone, for that matter, not only the learning provider. If you want to click on the e-learning and check the video to review, if you want to check the notes, if you want to check something online, extra videos, or any textbooks, that's fine. Is that correct, Alice?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so the guy said that 36 payment review and exam. Yes, sir. If you're, yeah, you're watching us right now, and if you shared our, live session today, then you are entitled for the 20% discount. Then you need to contact us when you can, register for the e-learning, and then check your availability for the examination. Okay, any question? And I think we are going to do this kind of session more often, especially with some other courses. Actually, we have a plan maybe next month that we are going to have a live session also for our ISO 45000 lead auditor course, and together with Malaysia, okay, our accreditation partner, and some of the CB, yeah, the certifying body for the lead auditor course. Okay.
Okay, Marge, I think we're good for today. Just
Yeah.
give the closing remarks, please.
Okay, so again po, Doc Sam, of course, thank you very much. Alice, thank you so much for your time today. And sa akin pong kababayan, again, happy Independence Day, and thank you for continuing, for your continuous trust sa amin, and maraming salamat po. Again, we have some, I would just like to add that if you have someone that you would like to refer for a training, then meron po kaming mga referral fee, okay, na binibigay, and yun lang po. If you have always any concern. And last po, alam ko may mga concern tayo about late certificate. Nako, pasensya na po. Starting December 21 examination is hindi pa po namin nare-receive. We're not yet receiving, to those who are watching from Thailand and Korea, of course, hindi pa po. We're not yet receiving the December 21 certificate because NEBOSH actually hold the shipment kasi po lockdown, and the DHL cannot deliver to the office. But upon checking with NEBOSH, is they promised that they ship this week, and we're expecting to receive it next week. So expect some emails, and please send your request if you want us to ship it to your house and everything. But again, we apologize for whatever shortcomings, especially during this time. Actually, I'm the only one in the office now, and the rest of my colleagues are in their home. So we apologize for that. And again, maraming salamat po, and ingat po tayo during this time of pandemic. Ano ba? NCQ, GCQ, barbecue. So let's see. Again, maraming salamat po, at ingat po kayong lahat. Bye.
Thank you. Happy Independence Day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank